Hurricane Irma boats tossed. Here we are at this marina.
Hi, my name's Colin. I used to be a chief engineer on super yachts, but gave it all up to buy a hurricane-damaged Lagoon 450. My friends and I are fixing it up as we go, and are determined to circumnavigate the entire planet. So subscribe if you want some inspiration to live life to the fullest. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did. So what are you waiting for?
Morning guys, so we've done something a little bit crazy. We had a couple of hurricane damaged boats offered to us for an extremely low price. We just drove 9 hours and now we're here on the outskirts of Pensacola and we're gonna check them out. So we've never seen these boats before. We bought them completely off photos. So these were damaged by Hurricane Sally, which came right through here, and so now there's a stack of these hurricane damaged boats right in this yard. We're gonna figure out how we can get in. But we've bought the boats, we got the bill of sales, they're ours. We just gotta find out how to get into the shipyard.
Look at them.
Alright, we found the 69 footer. So we're just coming up to it now. A lot of damage on the transom. But yeah, about what we expected. So this is what obviously sunk the boat. It's taken a big impact there. They've just put some plywood with some expanding foam in there just to get it floating. But whoever buys this thing's gonna have to just cut all of this off and start again. Big job, there's no doubt about it. Definitely a lot of work, but that's why it's gonna go cheap. Good thing about it is that it's foam core. And all the boats that I've been dealing with are balsa core. So this is an excellent part about this boat. Once you've done a bit of glasswork before, this doesn't really scare you anymore. So Jeff just pointed out something interesting about how this part here broke. What were you saying?
So you can see where it's been cleaned there, that's where the strap was when they craned it. So because it was laying on the side, as they craned it, all the weight went on there, which isn't structural, so that just broke off. You can tell because this is a clean break. It's not like the damage that spent 3 weeks underwater. You can see it's just happened as the boat was salvaged. So a lot of that damage was done during the salvage.
So Jeff's done quite a few of these salvage boats, and it's quite interesting to see that often a lot of the damage is done when they salvage it. Obviously not this boat, was totally wrecked before that, but some boats you'll find that if they salvage correctly, you can reduce the amount of work that needs to be done. But if the salvage goes wrong, you put a strap through the hull or something, you can end up doing tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of salvage repair. So it's really quite a technical thing to salvage these things properly, and this is just another little example of what can go wrong if you don't put that strap in the right place. Alright guys, here we are in the Salon. No doubt about it, this has to be completely gutted. Everything, you get all these couches out, but then you start with a fresh slate and make it exactly how you want. There's a lot of potential here, it's such a big boat. Okay, these engines here are going to be very intriguing. They're the Caterpillar C18s, straight 6. We took the oil fill cap off and Jamie part 2.
That was Jamie.
We took the oil fill cap off and oil came out the top of the engine. So this engine is completely full of salt water and the oil sitting on the top. So there's potential for this thing to be able to turn over. But let's be honest, everything else in the engine room is pretty much destroyed. You wouldn't even bother with the generators, there's air conditioning and stuff. This boat's not worth trying to get back to how it was. This boat's just more of a project boat for someone who just wants a huge boat just to motor around and maybe entertain friends and family. But it'd be silly to think that this boat's going to be like it was ever again. Yeah, a lot of damage up here on the brow of the boat. A lot of work. So here we're inside the bridge. Pretty large space again. All of this has been underwater, guys, so there's no point trying to save any of this stuff. You just make it completely custom. Ah, score! Look at that! Woo! Okay, here we are up on the flybridge. Really nice space. What always happens after these storms, and the same thing happened on Parlay, is people come and they loot things, they steal stuff. So there's a bunch of things missing, but yeah, you can have a nice little party area up here. This boat's got potential. It's definitely worth salvaging for someone. Okay, we're coming down from the bridge into the guest area. Absolute mess. Obviously, batteries are fried. It's a huge cabin here. Just a total mess. There's another twin cabin in here with its own head. So that's 2 heads, 2 cabins so far. Then another cabin up here. This is what I'd sort of call a VIP cabin or something like that. Or a nice big V berth. Ah, it has its own ensuite as well, I've just found. So that's 3 cabins and 3 ensuites. Little laundry here, those should run still, so that's good. So there you go guys, there's our Symbol 68-foot boat that we just bought. Definitely a huge project for someone, there's no doubt about it. It'd be just such a shame for this boat to go to the scrapyard, you know, there's so much potential in it. To just get it floating again, to do all the transom repairs and do all the hull repairs and fix up anywhere where water could get in, could be looking at 50 grand, 60 grand, and then you can splash it. But we just don't have the time for it to do anything with it ourselves. We've got too many of our own projects, so we're gonna give this to someone else. Morning everyone. Okay, so today we've got some exciting stuff going on. We've got Nathan, he's got a company called Maintenance Pro. And what are we trying to do today?
We're trying to save 2 Cat C18 Assert marine engines. The boat was underwater for about a month. Now that the boat's out of the water, it's time to jump on it and try to save as much as we can. The accessories, like the starter alternator, those are going to be most likely shot. There's still tons of water in the block, and I believe all the oil has come to the top of the bottom of the pistons. So hopefully saving our wrist pins and bottom of the liners and stuff like that. As long as there's water in it, it doesn't have that chance to oxidize. We'd probably have a pretty good chance of saving them.
Yeah, so we might at least get it spinning over.
Yeah, that's right. I feel pretty confident we could save them.
So the way Jeff and I are thinking about it, just to throw a little bit of money at it at this early stage, see what we got. If these things are seized right now, we're going to stop. But if we can get them moving, get them turning, we're going to pull the injectors out. We'll take you guys through the whole thing. But yeah, let's get it done.
Let's do it.
So what Nathan's doing right now is just blowing off all the debris, because we're going to be taking rocker covers off and everything. Make sure nothing goes into the engine. One hour later. Nathan, how many submerged motors have you done before?
Oh, I have no idea. It's been a few.
Been a few?
Yeah, yeah.
And how do they normally last after you get them going and people use them?
Yeah, like, it's not like debris getting in there, scarring up all kinds of your internals. It's just water. And
Yeah.
as long as it's not rusting and wreaking havoc in that way, this motor will be fine.
Right, so there's not really that much damage that is done when it's submerged?
No, if it's done properly, saving it, there won't be any damage. Nothing good comes from it.
Right.
But as long as nothing's rusting in there, you're going to be okay. A lot of people think you're going to find a lot of rust under here. I mean, water and metal rust, but the air is the other element that you need here, and it wasn't allowed to have that.
That looks pretty incredible, doesn't it?
It does.
Not a drop of rust on that.
And if there was going to be rust, it would be up here where air actually could enter.
Yeah, it's
The
always...
bottom's flooded.
Yeah.
There's no way for air to be in there.
Yeah.
So as long as we're good up here, we've got a really, really good chance of saving this motor. Oh, nice zip tie. Okay. So here's your rocker arm assembly. Cams right here on top. It's running your valves, and this center one is running your injector.
So obviously what we're doing here is we're just taking the rocker arm assembly off so that we can get to the injector. This is the injector here, and this is the pump, the plunger for the injector. So we have to get this rocker assembly off like this in order to get to the injector, which is this guy here.
You're gonna hear fuel flood down in the cylinder. This fuel would come in to the injectors here, and then the cam pushes down, and that's what gets your fuel to atomize.
Yeah, they're definitely a little bit dirty. Alright, so what's next, Nathan?
Yeah, so we got all the injectors out of here. We're not going to spin it with the starter, but if we were, you'd have to be careful of hydrolocking this motor. You take all your injectors out, make sure you get all the water out. We're just going to be spinning it over by hand, or hopefully spinning it by hand.
What are you expecting? Is oil and water and diesel?
There could be oil up there, but mostly it's going to be water and diesel from us just getting it in there from taking the injectors out. And if this motor has good compression, we'll probably hit the ceiling.
Hey, so what are we doing here?
So we're just pulled the dipsticks because the engine's filled with, once the water comes in, the oil rises and the water all settles at the bottom. So the dipsticks is letting the water come out from the bottom of the engine. The oil's going to settle back down because we don't want to turn the engines while there's water in there, because that'll pump the water through the oil pump and through all the journals throughout the engine. Yeah, these engines are so big and got such a big oil capacity, it was going to take us forever to pump it out with the vacuum. So they've got an oil change system on them. So we just took the pipe off that, opened the valve, and now the water's gushing out real quick. So that'll save us a bit of time.
Yeah. Alright, so Nathan's down in the hole there. What he's done is he's just cut the alternator belt straight off because he knows alternator's more than likely seized up. So he's cut that belt. Now he's about to lever on the end of the crankshaft there, and we'll see if this thing moves. Way! Lot of water. Alright, so this is the starboard engine. He's just done the same thing. He's cut the alternator belt off, and he's about to turn it over. Hopefully she spins. I can't see any reason why it wouldn't. Oh!
All over the tools, all over me.
That's spinning pretty freely, huh?
Yeah, very nice.
Alright guys, we've just put the rocker assembly cover back on, and we're going to fill this thing completely with diesel. Nathan's given us this little nozzle here. Start to fill up now. She'll be swimming soon.
We're going to fill it right up to the top, cover all the valves and the camshaft, get everything soaking.
Right now Nathan's having a look at the computers of the ECMs. Sometimes they're so well sealed that they could be dry inside, and that's a big game changer for whoever wants to buy this. Nathan's just taking off the ECM right here. I'm just going to separate it and see what it looks like inside, but hopefully if this is a really good seal, this is a valuable piece of equipment right here. It's glued shut, so I've got to break the seal here. Look at that, guys. Not a drop of water in there, man. Alright guys, me and Nathan just went ahead and we took all 4 turbos off, and they're now soaking in diesel as well. So we got the turbos, we got the injectors, we got the rocker assemblies, all of them just soaking in diesel until we figure out our next move. The engines are full of diesel. How do you think these engines are going to go?
Man, I think they're going to hold very well. The top end looked great. Loads of compression. It's not send oil to the ceiling. I think these motors are going to be in really, really good shape.
So what's it going to take to get these running?
Well, you'd want to go through the complete wiring harness, take all the plugs apart, spray some corrosion X in there, a little bit of dielectric grease, plug them all back up, go through the whole system, just taking your time with the electrical, because that electrical can add up fast, money-wise, and then you start powering up simple things until you get to where you're, okay, it's ready to go, go time.
And in your opinion, how much do you think these engines are worth as they are right now?
But where they're sitting, I mean, if you can look past the dirt and everything and debris still surrounding them, man, they're at least 90,000 a piece.
Right. So there's a lot of value in these engines, even though it's been sunk.
That's right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Alright Nathan, thanks a lot man. We've sure learned a couple of tricks off you today. Really appreciate everything you've done, and we'll keep in touch.
For sure.
But wait, there's more. We actually bought this one next to me here as well. So this is a Sea Ray 560, 2001. So a little bit smaller engines than the other one, but it was also completely underwater. So again, a lot of work. Let's have a look around. So this is a much smaller boat than the other one, but it's got a lot less fiberglass damage, so it wouldn't take too much to get this one floating. There's a couple of dings here and there. A couple of little things. Definitely still needs a lot of work to get it floating, but a lot less than the other one. So we've just climbed up into the cockpit here. Got the Salon there and the galley. She is a total mess, guys. Let's make no mistake about it. It's completely underwater. Pretty much want to gut this to start again and make it your own custom home or boat or whatever someone wants to turn this into. So obviously this carpet's got to come out, all this furniture's got to get replaced, but it's spacious. 56-foot yacht. So we've got two fairly large cabins here and a smaller sort of crew cabin or maybe a kid's cabin there. It's right in next to the laundry, but same deal as the other one. Everything's just got to be completely removed. Here we go, here's the flybridge. Brand new. No, this is totaled, guys. This is nothing worth saving here. You'd have to start again and rebuild this all with whatever you wanted here. Customize it. We're not going to hide anything, but you can't, there's nothing to hide. These boats are constructive total losses. For the price that we're going to give them away for, someone's going to buy them. There's a lot of things to consider for someone to buy these boats, and yeah, we're not trying to make a lot of money. We just thought it was a fun project and an opportunity that we couldn't refuse. By the time this comes out on YouTube, these will be in the hands of someone else, and maybe we can do a follow-up episode. But that's all for today. See you next week. So one of the perks of buying hurricane boats is you get to score a lot of nice equipment that you find in the bilges here. Jeff's got a brand new pair of sandals there.
Good guy.
They got to be worth at least $2.50. So that's a score. That's got to be added to the value of the boat.